Commissioner Vasconcellos, being the leader of this with Meg's inability to attend today, she had other conflicts. Would you like to get off and get started? We have a quorum to my understanding.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order, and I think the first order of business is, well, roll call.
We do not have a legal representatives. Actually, Kelly did join us. Kelly, would you mind doing roll call for us? Kelly, are you able to hear us?
Not till a few minutes ago.
Oh gosh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Got you now, Kelly.
Okay, sorry. Computer technical difficulties. Walker,
Here.
Carlson, Westerberg,
Here.
Saylor,
Here.
Vasconcellos,
Here.
Bosiger, Clegg, Agent.
Here.
All right.
Very good. Thank you, Kelly. Mr. Vasconcellos, would you like me to start with the director's update?
Well, I think we have to approve the minutes first for the last meeting. So do I have a motion? Well, first of all, any changes? I have one small one, and that is in A4. It's a real small thing, but it should say Ms. Hupp engaged in a discussion. So there should be a D added to the wording engage. Like I said, very small, not really material. But with that, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, with that correction, I move they be approved.
And a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? All right, the minutes have been approved from the last meeting then, and now, Alex, I think you could go ahead and with your director's report. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Good morning, all. I am pinch hitting for Director Hupp. She's currently at a conference, and so hopefully I get halfway to the level in which she delivers these reports. So I welcome any questions along the way or at the end. So as we start every director's update, runway closures that we had in February, on the 7th and 14th respectively, we had closures of both 10 right and 10 left. Not simultaneously, but what that was for routine airfield lighting maintenance as well as FAA maintenance. And we do take those opportunities to do FOD patrols and sweep the surface of any FOD, which is foreign object debris, to ensure safe operating services. So on the 7th and 14th, we had both runways closed for a period of time of 4 hours each. Parking garage construction, if anybody's been out to the airport recently, you've seen some significant construction going on east of the current parking garage. We're very excited to see that project start, as our parking, which we'll discuss later in the director's report, is becoming significantly full as we continue to have passengers begin travel again. So the parking office, toll plaza, and pedestrian bridge the existing structure has been demoed and the foundation walls have been formed, and currently the footings, the water bypass, and the drill rig has been mobilized in order to drill the piers for the columns. The east garage has some significant work done as well, and the drilling of the aggregate piers is underway, and we anticipate that to continue through the month of March. There was a slight hiccup on the 22nd. There was a water line that was struck during the course of that construction. Our airport team did a phenomenal job in responding to that. Thankfully, the water was only out for approximately 45 minutes. However, as anyone could imagine, that could have turned into a very problematic situation if it did prolong longer than 45 minutes. Our team jumped to, and we were trying to mitigate any potential issues that could arise, and thankfully there was very little, if any, impact to our flying passengers. Heading to the southeast portion of the airfield, the cargo apron and taxiway Sierra widening Bids opened last Wednesday. We're excited to get this project started. This is in conjunction to support the cargo facility that will be constructed shortly just west of the existing SkyWest maintenance hangar. President's Day travel, it was actually a very busy weekend here at the airport. As we've seen through many days recently, the enclosed parking, the surface as well as the parking garage became full, but we were able to accommodate all of the passengers that were traveling in the economy lot. As we approach spring break, we are very cognizant of our parking constraints. And so we're working on strategies of how to mitigate any potential capacity issues. We do plan to relocate the employees that utilize the economy parking lot to another lot, which would provide approximately 575 stalls additional to the public so that we would be able to absorb the influx of spring break travelers. Routes America, Director Hupp was recently in San Antonio and met with roughly 12 airlines to discuss opportunities to either continue, expand, or start service here in Boise. And so definitely trying to get the word out, and a lot of interested folks are interested airlines of entertaining the idea of coming to Boise. So it's very exciting as we continue to grow. Director Hupp, as I mentioned on the kickoff, is currently at a conference, the Airport Experience Conference in Orlando, and she's being honored as the Medium Hub Airport Director of the Year. So it's very exciting for Director Hupp as well as the airport. And while she's there, she's also participating in a women's and leadership panel discussion at the event. We had the opportunity to honor a fallen veteran recently. We were notified of a fallen veteran arriving in Boise. And on short notice, we were able to rally up the entire airport team, all the way from airport operations to Boise Police to United States Customs, to provide that individual the honor and dignity that was well deserved upon the arrival here at Boise. So definitely received a lot of feedback on social medias, roughly 230 comments and 7,500 reactions. And we also were on the local KTVB. To my knowledge, Sean, you might know better, that's one of our most popular or most viewed Facebook posts. Is that correct? So January employments. So from pre-pandemic, we were down 11%. And from January 2019, we're down 6%. We're at about 144,000 employments in the month of January. Total passengers, up 81% over 2021, but anything referenced off 2021 makes it look like we're really doing some significant numbers. We are down 10% from 2020 and 5% from 2019, leaving us at 285,000 total passengers in 2022 thus far. The financials, so some of the percentages, as in past meetings, do seem a little drastic. The significant changes in the positive field are as a result of additional passengers. As you see, parking lot 141%. That is a direct reflection of the additional passengers that we're seeing in comparison to 2021. And then other reporting numbers are impacted by COVID, as well as additional employees and passengers coming to the terminal. And then operating expenses. The big numbers that would pop out there would be the indirect cost reimbursements. That's for our fleet services and whatnot. And then chemical. Chemical is significantly impacted for our airfield operations to ensure the airfield remain open during winter weather activity. And so that is a number that reflects the amount of chemical that we did put down in order to remain open and safe. And Commissioner Vasconcellos, that concludes my report. I think you might be on mute. On mute.
Yeah, there you go.
We're unable to hear you, Mr. Vasconcellos.
How about now?
Gotcha now.
Sorry, there are two mute buttons on my speaker and computer, so sorry about that. On your last slide, what is the indirect cost reimbursement?
Indirect cost reimbursement is we added some IT software to the plan, and these costs were paid directly and coded to separate accounts in the past. And there was a restructuring of the cost accounting, as I was told by our financial group, but I can definitely get some additional information for you from the subject matter experts on that.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next item of business is commissioner comments. And I will start with you, Russ.
I don't have any comments. Just pleased to be here.
Okay.
Things seems to be running just fine out there.
And Frank?
Yes, I apologize for being late this morning. I was running an errand that went seriously awry. And again, I apologize. Other than that, just looking forward to spring.
General Saylor.
I have no comment this morning. Thank you.
Let's see, am I missing a councilman agent?
Nothing from me this morning. Thank you.
Okay. And did I miss anybody? I guess I don't really have anything other than I'd like to, on behalf of the commission, extend our congratulations to Rebecca for being honored at this conference, which I think says a lot about the city of Boise and our airport. So that's all I've got. And I guess we're up to new business. Which would be Matt.
We have Matt here in the room. I will toggle your slides, Matt, if you're ready.
Morning, members of the commission and council member. This morning, we're going to talk about the consolidated rental car facilities that we have been planning and we're currently under design. We'll go through a series of slides. We've been working about the last year with the rental cars, both local and corporate, to implement the new rental car garage and come up with a concept that would work for them. And we've gone through multiple concepts, and I'm pleased to hear that, or report that they've unanimously selected a concept, and we're moving forward with design of it. So I'm going to kind of present some of the information on that so you see what we're proposing to do. So with that, Alex, can you? We did an extensive survey of the rental cars to predict their demand going into the future. And what we tried doing is we anticipate the rental car garage be done complete in 2025. So we want to make sure that, you know, we've got plenty of capacity to meet their 10-year plus demand. And our current concept is about a 15-year, then it starts getting a little crowded. Currently, you can see there, they only have like 458 stalls, and we're building a facility well over 1,000 ready return stalls. So with the, and in long term, we're also planning a QTA, which is a abbreviated for quick turnaround area. That's fueling and wash facilities. And you can see currently they do that offsite at some multiple offsite locations. And we're going to consolidate that in the more long-term future expansion. And that'll make their operation more efficient and more secure. So anyway, with that, we'll go into the concept. This shows the location of it. The ready return garage phase 1 is just west of the main parking garage on the west of the road, and north of the current rental car facility. And this site was selected about 10 years ago during the master plan. So we are staying consistent with that plan. We just kind of worked out more details with the rental car companies. on how it consists of a garage for the ready return, a new customer service area that'll be right adjacent to it, and a walkway connecting to the terminal. So all their facilities will be centralized in one location, as right now the customer counters are below the checkpoint and the cars are west of the baggage claim. So there is some disconnect now. This will be better for the customer in the future. So that's the location that we're looking at, this phase one expansion. This is a isometric view of it, three-dimensional, give you a little bit more perspective, the terminal building, existing garage, and what it looked like helixes on the north side. That vacant area just to the north of it, toward in between it and I-84, we are currently constructing a employee garage there. So that slide doesn't reflect that, but it'll be another garage there also. Consists of 6 levels of ready return. And then rather than putting a roof on the top, we just put another deck on top and just some rental car storage stacking up on the upper level. So more traditional ready return stalls on the first 6 floors. And then on the upper deck, they'll stack them nose to tail, just put as many cars in there as they can. That'll be more of just a storage area for the rental cars. Adjacent to it would be the customer service building. That's a CSB, and then a connecting walkway to the terminal. We chose this site mainly because of the walk distance for the customer and proximity to terminal, and also connection to the roadway system. So it's about the only location we had. If we outgrow this long term, we would go off site, but that's probably 40 years in the future. And but we did site this garage such that if long term, it could be converted over to a public garage in the future. So proceed with the next slide, please. Phase 2 of it would be expand to the west, and we be building the consolidated quick turnaround or fueling and car wash facilities adjacent to it. And that would be, like I said, the more long-term development, the second phase, and that would give them more efficient operation, quicker turnaround, and security of their cars also. Go ahead, Alex. This kind of shows you the number of stalls and such that we would generate with the each phase. You can see the first phase, we get that over 1,000, nearly 1,100 stalls ready return. The staging up on the upper deck, upper roof, almost 300. Cost projected about $66 million. And in phase 2, we don't gain a lot of, we don't gain any more ready return, but we do gain some more stacking on the roof of that facility. And that, you can see that cost is nearly $29 million. Okay, going into the next slide, I'll show you some, talk a little bit about the financing of this. Currently working with the rental cars, and we hired a financial advisor to go through this with us. We are intending to issue revenue bonds to pay for the construction, and the revenue bonds are backed by the CFC, customer facility charge, that we charge each rental car contract per contract day. That CFC currently generates, we just changed it, but I think it's nearly $3 million a year. And we are intending to increase that this year. It's currently at $440 per contract day, and we are looking at the later this summer to increase that to $565, and that would finance a 30-year revenue bond to pay for the construction. Go ahead, next slide. We picked, we kind of benchmarked our CFC with other airports, peer airports. It's actually wrong. We were currently 425. And we tried keeping the costs and the structure of our revenue bond, the term and all that, so that we could be kind of in the average or in the middle of our group there. We didn't want to be an outlier, a very one of the highest paid. You can see the $6 is kind of right in the middle of where airports, our peer airports are. And that's good. We feel comfortable with that 585 or 575, whatever that was, per day increase in the CFC. So why don't you go back to that isometric view and then we'll take questions. There you go. That's all I had for the presentation. Kind of give you the next steps. We are, like I said, we are entering into schematic design of it. Continue that for the next couple months. And we are meeting with the rental car corporate and local on a monthly basis to review the design and the make decisions there. We've kind of got the garage locked in. The next piece that we're going to be working on with them is the customer service building, determining whether we do a single level or multiple level stacked facility and get their input and work with them to meet their needs and the customer's needs. So with that, entertain any questions anybody might have.
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have one question. How far is the walk from the terminal, say from the booking?
From the baggage claim area, you're probably talking maybe, I think, a couple 100 feet is on average, you know, depending on where you are in the garage. It's kind of comparable to the existing parking garage.
Okay.
To give you an idea of scale.
Yeah, all right.
And that's why when we kind of put all the customer services as close as we could to the terminal building. And then in the future, we view the QTA, it'll expand to the west. And those facilities the customer doesn't interact with those. That's their employees. So we kind of put them out on the peripheral.
And would all of the staging take place on the first level, so people aren't going up to the fourth level to pick up their car?
No, they would go, they'll be on multiple levels.
Multiple
Each company will have a floor or maybe even 2 floors, and they'll have their individual there,
Okay.
ready to return there.
Yeah, I was just curious as to who at the city is managing the bonding process. Do you know?
I don't know, but we probably will follow what we did on the parking garage, the same team there, because they're familiar with our operation and our there. Will be using probably the same team, legal team there.
That makes sense.
Kelly might be able to report that.
Chairman,
Yes. General Saylor.
Matt, just a question for clarification. You were talking about the single story or multiple story building on top of the parking garage, where I'm assuming people are going to, get their rental cars, sign the contracts and all that. Is that part of the operation going to remain in the terminal until that additional building is built? Or will that be part of this phase 1 until the second building is built?
It is intended to build that facility, a new customer counter where they'll sign the contracts, pick up their keys, right adjacent to this ready return garage. So everything will be at one location.
Okay, so they're going to be built basically concurrently?
I'm sorry, what now?
So they'll be built essentially concurrently?
Yes, yes, it will be.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And then we will go through some planning exercises to determine the repurposing of the existing rental car facility. And there's some ideas that we have, concepts, preliminary, through the master plan process that will determine the best use of that room down there.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to flag for staff. I'm sure you are already on this and thought about it, but the Public Works Department is going to be issuing miles of bonds in the next few years as the water renewal process that the voters authorized last year gets underway. And so there may be opportunities for efficiency there in terms of using bond counsel, using consultants, et cetera. You know, two different departments are doing it. Sometimes we can do it cheaper by bringing in the same people to do both. I'm sure it's already been discussed, and I'm sure that our poor staff is probably covering both already, but I just wanted to flag it as an opportunity to be efficient with taxpayer funds.
Thank you.
Councilman, what is the size of the bonds that they're going to be doing for the water project? Do you know?
They're authorized up to 530 million, I think, $500 million, somewhere in there. That doesn't mean they'll necessarily do that full amount. They have authority to do that, and then they'll be looking at construction timelines, inflation, opportunities for federal reimbursement to determine the exact amount of the bonds issued. They'll also not be issued all at once, so they'll be coming in tranches and chunks in the coming years, the next 5 to 7 years, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be issuing a bond approximately about probably about 12 months from now is when we'll be doing that.
Okay, thank you. Good to know.
And right now, the construction is scheduled for spring of 2023, probably March, April timeframe of next year start.
No, that was going to be one of my questions. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Well, thank you very much, Matt. That was very informative.
Okay, and as we progress through the schematic design, we'll just bring back more details as we get them.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay, I think the next order of business is testimony from the public. If there is anybody that wants to present something, do we have anybody from the public that would like to present something to the commission? Go ahead.
I apologize. I'm not seeing anybody online. I confirm with Greg. Is there any messages that I might not be seeing on my side?
We will need to ask those to raise their hand. There's the Zoom hand you can raise on the attendee side, and that will allow you to ask the question. If anybody over there wants to ask a question, they can by raising their hand.
Thank you.
And at this time, I do not see any hands raised.
Being none.
Okay, and does anyone have any other business that they would like to bring up as far as the other commissioners go?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move that our next meeting, that will be in April, be held live at the airport where it usually is.
Okay, is that a motion?
That was a motion, yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll
I second that.
Okay, I would say that would be city policy permitting, but that all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, well, motion passes, and Do we have a date for that meeting? I guess it would be the first Wednesday in April, right?
April 6th.
Thank you. Okay. All right, we'll plan to meet in person unless we hear otherwise from the authorities.
I'm sure we will.
Well, not from this one, you won't.
Okay. Thanks for filling in today, Alex. That was well done. I think if we don't have anything else, we can accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second?
Second,
All right. All in favor?
aye.
All right. Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
See you all next month.
Good to see you all.